Life shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yeah, good morning to you, and good morning to every single one of you out there. If you're a long-term listener of Join Up Dots, thank you very much. If you're new to the show, thank you very much. And if you're somewhere in between, thank you very much for being here. Well, today's episode is a response-based show. We did a show probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was talking about how I used to be the world's worst worrier. I was always looking at things that basically weren't in my control and thinking how by working harder or persisting or whatever, I could overcome them. And little by little, due to experience, knowledge, and just kind of everything else that comes to you, I've realised that you can only control what you can control. And if it's out of your control, then don't worry about it. Just let it happen. And then see what you can do with what's happened to you, and then move on from that point. A lot of us lay in bed worrying about things that actually are nothing to do with us. Oh, what happens if I lose my job? What happens if my girlfriend leaves me? What happens? Well, your girlfriend might leave you, or you might lose your job. But then if that happens, then deal with it. But until that point, just sort of live a peaceful life. Anyway, we had some answers from people across the world who have kindly sent me their sort of response and how they're bringing that matter into their life, control what they can control. And we'll start straight with the first person, because if you've got a question out there, all you got to do is this. If you have a problem and need some help, then simply drop us a line. You can either email, scream, or yell, and everything will turn out fine. Yeah, whatever's on your mind, whatever's going through your life, whether it's feedback from a podcast episode or whatever, joinupdots@gmail.com, send it through to us and we will respond and we will help you. And just basically make your life better. Well, Sarah's done just that, and she's in Australia, and she says, I run a small bakery and I've spent so much time worrying about competitors, the rise in food costs, and whether people would keep coming back. But after listening to your episode, I realised I was putting too much energy into things I couldn't change. Yeah, you can't. You're not in control of food costs. You're not in control of whether people want to come back or not, or are you? Because you can really focus in giving them such wonderful service, creating such wonderful bakery stuff that they just will want to come back. So anyhow, Sarah took the advice and decided to focus on what she could control, improving her customer service, refining her offerings, and strengthening her relationships with local suppliers. And now she says, I've noticed an increase in customer loyalty and, more importantly, a decrease in the stress levels. Well, that's amazing. So a round of applause to you. Okay, this one is from Tokyo in Japan. Dear David, thank you so much for your recent episode on letting go of things you can't control. I've always struggled with trying to manage the dynamics in my relationships, whether it was with friends, family, or even co-workers here in Tokyo. I felt responsible for how people acted towards me, and I kept thinking that I could somehow control or fix their behaviour. But now I realise that I was wasting so much energy on something I had no control over. So I've instead started focusing more on how I react and set boundaries. I'm learning to say no when I need to, and it's been liberating. I've also noticed a difference in how I feel, and it's improved my relationships without me even trying to control everything. Thank you for showing me a healthier way to navigate life. Yuki Tanaka, hopefully I said that, in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you very much, Yuki, for dropping us a line. And I think I used to do that. I used to try to control people, but I didn't control them in a sort of passive aggressive way. I just used to think that I could show them how to live a better life. And it doesn't matter who you are out there, I can show you how to live a better life as long as it's the life that you want to lead. And that was the problem. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So what I think of is a wonderful, stress-free, profitable lifestyle. Other people may not want it. Other people might want to be on the go, boardrooms, fighting their corners against competitors and stuff. And so that's how they want to operate. So I think when it comes to people, I always think to myself, it's not about me, it's about them. I need to be what they want me to be instead of them wanting to be the opposite way round. I can't change them, but I can change myself. And that works very well. So if somebody's happy, I'm really happy and I'm positive. If somebody is sort of like depressed, hopefully I sort of go down to their level and a bit more empathetic. So there's many different ways that we can do it. But yeah, we can't control or fix anyone's behaviour. It's up to them. Emma in Dublin, Ireland. She says, hi, David, your episode on income streams came at the perfect time for me. I've been toying with the idea of turning a small side hustle, creating handmade candles, into something more serious for a while now. But I've always been too worried about market trends and competition. I kept thinking, what if people stop buying candles? Or what if I can't compete with bigger brands? You know, I actually hate candles, Emma. My wife loves them, and we'd look like a mosque, basically, our house. She'd have candles everywhere, but it's not the candles, it's the smell. I don't like scented stuff. I'm not too keen on, when the washing comes out and people sniff it. I'd rather washing come out that smells wet more than deeply perfumed. But I'm in a minority because I know people love buying candles and making rooms and dinner parties just more romantic. A friend of mine many years ago pulled this girl and brought her back to his house, and they've both been drinking quite heavily. And this is when George Michael was at his sort of peak. So he basically set a few candles, started to make it a little bit of a sort of you can imagine what he was aiming for. And they got some more drinks out. They went onto the sofa, and the candles were on. George Michael was on, and they both fell asleep. And they woke up, and the flat was ablaze because the candle had set fire to the curtains. And rushed around like a madhouse. He did, and he managed to put it out and lived his best life. So yeah, candles are always out there. After listening to your podcast, Emma says, I realised that worrying about external factors was holding me back. So now I've taken the leap and I'm working on turning my candle making into a full-fledged online business. I'm focusing on what I can control, looking at providing the best products, refining any marketing strategies, and building a loyal customer base. I'm even working on automating some of the processes to make my life easier. It's very, very early days, Emma says, but I already feel more confident about the future. Thanks for helping me see that success starts with what I can control. It's as easy as that. The problem with building success is most of the time people run around doing stuff thinking they've got to be uber busy, but actually they should be uber quiet. They should be very, very focused. It's better to do 2 or 3 things a day that are really useful more than 1,000 things a day. Working for hours on end doesn't make it any easier to get the success. What you've got to do is really think, okay, what is the next dot? What is the thing that can move me towards my goal? And, we play this all the time because it's so powerful. And this is why I keep on playing the same speeches, because each of them are fundamental to building a business or a dream life. And Oprah says it brilliantly.
The way through the challenge is to get still and ask yourself, what is the next right move? Not think about, I got all of this stuff. What is the next right move? And then from that space, Make the next right move and the next right move. And not to be overwhelmed by it because you know your life is bigger than that one moment. You know you're not defined by what somebody says is a failure for you, because failure is just there to point you in a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 or 3 controlled decisions per day is the winner, I think, more than anything else. So Emma, you're doing great. You're building a candle business. Other people have done it, so why can't you? You can go and make it happen. So really proud of you. Once again, round of applause. And if I didn't give a round of applause to anyone else out there, you deserve it, because you are taking action and just changing your mindset. And that's really what Join Up Dots is all about. It's all about mindset more than anything. If you've got the right mindset, then things can happen. I had a guy the other day that said to me, oh, you're always really happy. And I said, well, if I'm focused on being happy, I don't have time to be a misery. And what I mean by that is I make a conscious decision to be a certain way, and that drives my life forward. It's pure mindset. I look to be happy, bouncy, probably too bouncy sometimes if you ask my daughter, but just focused on how I live, how I breathe, the actions I take, and that has been, a game changer. The last one is from Priya Sharma in Mumbai. Hi David, I just want to share how much your recent episode on control and aging resonated with me. Was I talking about aging in it? I don't remember now. Living in Mumbai, there's always pressure to look youthful and stay competitive, especially in my job as a corporate trainer. I used to be a corporate trainer. I used to stand up there and do training courses, and I used to teach people about flood defences and locks and securities and insurance and household insurance and loads of things. So I know exactly what you get up to. I've always felt anxious about aging, both physically and in terms of my career. But after listening to your podcast, I've started focusing in on what I can control: my health, my skill set, and how I manage my time. I've started doing yoga every morning and have enrolled in an online course to learn more about digital training methods. Instead of worrying about getting older and out of touch, I'm focusing on staying active, healthy, and continuously learning. Yeah, thank you for helping me change my perspective. Priya, brilliant, absolute brilliant on there, because the continuous learning and changing your perspective, because you can't be the same. You've got to change your perspective. It's the only consistent thing in your life. I was talking to my wife the other day and I said, that some of the things we did when we first got together, they were just young and stupid. I said, but we were young and stupid. You're supposed to be young and stupid. You don't get any more wisdom as you get older. You just get wisdom about the things that you've done that didn't turn out right. You're still making the same mistakes. You're still trying different things, as long as you're continuously learning and pushing yourself forward. I don't worry about age at all anymore. I don't worry about getting old and ugly. I don't worry about anything. I really don't, because you can only control what you can control. And just spend a morning thinking that. If you're waiting at the bus and the bus doesn't turn up, instead of thinking, oh my God, why has the bus not turned up? Just think, okay, I can't do anything about it. Let's just breathe and wait for the next bus, or let's get an Uber or a taxi, or let's do something different. Just control what you can control and your life will be much happier. So thank you for everybody who dropped us those emails. joinupdots@gmail.com. Can't make it any easier for you than that. And keep on dropping us a line, because we love these. It really makes a difference to me that we know that our content is working across the world. And for everybody out there from Mumbai and Tokyo and Australia, just keep on working at it, because the dots will join up, I promise you. Until next time, you stay sexy. If you like that podcast, please tell a couple of your friends about it, and we'll see you again. Cheers, see ya, bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. Is the only life you've got. We'll be back again real soon. Join up dots, join up dots, join up dots, join up dots. Join up, join up.